Texans draft a running back, but did they really improve the state of the position? Do they even care? We'll hear what GM Nick Caserio has to say, and the man himself will speak. He says he's the steal of the draft. Let's tackle it in the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey.
Gotta run the ball. Gotta run the ball. Gotta run the ball. Gotta run the ball. We hear it all the time, but we don't necessarily see it consistently from the Houston Texans. It is the locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central, Sports Radio 610, and the Odyssey app. You can also see me right here on YouTube on the Sports Radio 610 channel. Running back positions, one of the more polarizing topics every time the draft comes around. It's the position's been devalued, the position's been scrutinized, the position's been criticized. But if you look at a lot of the best teams in the NFL, they value it, they covet it. Even when they have backs, they decide they're going to add some more. We see it in San Francisco. San Francisco traded up to get a running back who actually started ahead of the running back that we're going to hear from in a sec, Jawhar Jordan, one of your newest Houston Texans. The Miami Dolphins, they have running backs. They got Jalen Wright. A lot of Texans fans would have liked to have seen him here. The Jets, they got Breece Hall. They added a couple of running backs. Notice all these guys come from that Shanahan pipeline. Matt LaFleur, same pipeline with the McVay-Shanahan pipeline. He already has A.J. Dillon and Josh Jacobs. They had a running back as well. And the Texans wait till the 6th round, despite having their second running back right now being Dameon Pierce, who in year 2, let's just be honest, and I love the guy and I'm rooting for the guy. And if he turns it around, that'll be fantastic. He had a sophomore slump, to say the very least, and he wasn't even playable at the end of the season. You need multiple running backs, in my opinion, to succeed. Even teams that people will point to, like the Kansas City Chiefs, they at least swung for the fences. They tried to draft a running back in the first round in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They just took the wrong one. That's not an indictment on the whole position. That happens every year at every position. If they would have taken Jonathan Taylor, we would have never said anything about it. So it just kind of happens. Caserio in New England, they had multiple running backs making plays. There was a conference championship game, I think, where James White, Rex Burkhead, and Sony Michel all made plays. They had White and Danny Woodhead over the course of time making plays out of the backfield. They drafted Sony Michel in the first round when you might have think they didn't need a running back. They had guys doing it all over, and we know what San Francisco does and how they value. But the Texans, for whatever reason, maybe they haven't gotten to that point. They do not seem to value it as much, or do they? Let's hear from Nick Caserio. Let's let Nick Caserio speak for himself. Here's Nick Caserio talking about the running back position and whether or not it's important. This was him on Sports Radio 610. He was on with Payne and Pendergast.
Yeah, no, they're valuable. I mean, there was a number of good football players that we had identified in this draft. We feel good about that position. We feel like we have 2 good backs on a roster with Mixon and DP, and the opportunity to add Jordan to the roster as well was something that, we found intriguing. He has a little bit different dynamic relative to his skill set. When you watch Louisville play this past year, they had 2 backs. So Jordan was actually the starter, and then he played early in the year, and then he got hurt. I think he had a little bit of a knee issue that he sort of was dealing with, and then Garendo played a little bit more. Jordan ended up being their leading rusher. I think he ran for, 1,100 yards or whatever it was. We're happy that we were able to draft Jordan and get him on a team. There were some other players that we liked as well. So in our opinion, that position, there's no such thing as it's devalued.
Well, I mean, you can kind of fool me with the way that it's been addressed. And look, Dameon Pierce, nobody's rooting for Dameon Pierce more than I. And I keep hearing, well, look out for Dameon Pierce bounce back. What's that based on? Not playable last year. Maybe the mental makeup or what. We'll see. I'm rooting for it. Always hear the Arian Foster example here. Arian Foster was undrafted and all that. Okay. Let's hear from Jawhar Jordan, though. He has a bold claim, though. He says that he's the steal of the draft. Let's hear what he had to say when he met with the media.
Hey, Aaron Wilson from KPRC NBC News. Congratulations on joining the Texans.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
How would you describe your style of play? We've seen you do a lot in big games like the kickoff return and the bowl game or the Fenway Bowl where you're the MVP, and just what you had on special teams. And I would follow up. Thank you.
I think my game is versatile. I can obviously run the ball. I'm a strong runner, see the holes well. I got speed too, and a little bit of wiggle. So I'm gonna make a few guys miss, and definitely a threat in the pass game as well. Once I get the ball in my hand, I'm a threat. So,
did you have a visit or a Zoom or combine?
The visit stuff's
at
crazy.
combine, and
We'll skip that.
that's all it was.
There you go.
Jonathan.
Jonathan Alexander, Houston Chronicle. Congratulations on being drafted. Maybe you answered, yeah, no problem. Maybe you answered it with your first question, maybe not. But I saw you tweeted that you're the steal of this draft. Why do you believe you're the steal of this draft?
I like that confidence.
Really, not only I've always been underrated, and people count me out a lot, and even this past season, I wasn't on any the top running backs, and I wasn't one of the top ACC running backs going into the season. But I made my statement, and that's just something I live by, like just making my mark, leaving my mark, and I know that when it's all said and done, I'll be one of the greatest. So,
one of the greatest. Okay.
Cool.
I like the way you're talking, man.
Cole Thompson, USA Today Texans Wire. Jawhar, congratulations on getting drafted and welcome to Houston. I want to get your thoughts on two quick questions. First one, did you watch any of Joe Mixon while you were in Louisville simply because of how close Cincinnati was? And what do you think of his game and what he can teach you about playing at the NFL level?
Yeah, for sure. I've watched Joe Mixon a lot, especially when he was at Oklahoma. He played with a few guys that I knew at that school as well. So Joe Mixon is definitely someone that I can, he can take me under his wing and I can learn a lot from him. So I'm blessed and grateful to be in a room like that with him and, Coach Barrett and the other guys that can teach me a lot.
And then you got to see last season what this offense was, headlined by Offensive Rookie of the Year, C.J. Stroud. What do you think it's going to be like now playing alongside him as a complementary piece and hopefully that last piece of the offense that could take you to new heights?
Yeah, I can't wait. C.J. Stroud, he did a lot of great things, him in the offense. So I'm just excited to be a part of an offense that's explosive like that.
Brian Bearfield.
Hey, man, welcome to Houston, Brian Bearfield, Big Sarge Media, but everybody just calls me Sarge, as you can see by the hat. The first question that I have for you is your talent stands out, very, very well. And, people can see the explosiveness that you have, the shiftiness that you have. But your running backs coach, Chris Barkley, says you play the game for the team and not for yourself. Is that something that you were able to get across to the Texas organization when you were able to talk to them?
Yeah, I think they did their research on how I am as a player and a teammate. Like you said, I always put the team first. I was banged up in the middle of the season, but I had the option to, stop playing. But, the team and my brothers, they meant so much to me, and we wanted to win so bad. I'd do anything for them and, to do what's best for the team. So, I went out there each week and did what I had to do.
And when you transferred from Syracuse into Louisville, you were low on the depth chart, but you ended up becoming the starter. With where you were picked today, and there's the opportunity to play in the NFL, that you're going to have to work for your opportunity and your spot here. How much does that fuel you?
Oh, that's nothing to me. I've always worked my way up from the bottom to the top. So I wouldn't want it any other way. And I'm just extremely grateful and blessed for this opportunity. I've been saying to my coach that all I needed was my feet in the door and everything's going to work out how it should. And I'm going to take care of business.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Damn, he's got some confidence. Good Lord. He might win me over.
Hey, Jawhar, it's Kim Davis from Chalk Talk. Congratulations. Looking forward to meeting you in Houston. Am I saying your name right? Is it Jawhar?
No, ma'am, it's Jawhar.
Jawhar. Okay, I want to make sure I say it right. Thank you for that. So, what did you know? Tell me about your meeting with. You talked about Coach Barrett, but what was it like when you met with Coach Ryans and kind of the leadership of the team? How did you feel about it? What impressed you? What did you connect with most?
Just like the tradition they're making over there in Houston. They're building up something great. They kind of set the foundation last season, in and off with a great season. So I'm just appreciative of Coach Ryans, the McNairs, Nick, Coach Barrett, and for believing in me for this opportunity. And I'm just ready to get to work.
Have you been to Houston? Do you know much about the city?
No, ma'am, not yet.
All right. Well, lots of good food. Thank you.
None of these dudes been to Houston, man.
Thank you.
Aaron.
When you were making the decision to transfer, how difficult was it to leave New York? And how much did that decision wind up setting the stage for where you are today as an NFL draft pick? Thank you.
Well, really, just being in New York, I grew up in New York, so I ended up going to Syracuse for college, just something I wanted to do. I played for my home state. And then eventually, I enjoyed my time at Syracuse. Love Coach Babers, love Coach Lynch, but I felt like their team wasn't fitting for me. So I just talked to my family, and eventually we just decided that it's best for me to move on and find a school that best fits me and my play style. And Louisville ended up being that place for me. And I'm just super blessed for the opportunity Coach Satterfield gave me, Coach Sims, the opportunity they gave me. And then, of course, when Coach Jeff Brom came and took over, I was glad he took over. And, he was a great coach. Same with Coach Barclay. He taught me a lot. And I'm just grateful for my time at Louisville.
All right, we'll close with Cody and Sarge.
Hey, how you doing, man? Cody Davis from Sports Illustrated. You mentioned several times on this call, the meetings that you had with Coach Danny Berry. From what you were able to share, how do you think Danny Berry can help you make that transition from college to the NFL?
Oh, Coach Barrett, he definitely, he's going to push me to my limits and try to make me better each and every day. Like, he's the type of guy that, he wants the best from me on and off the field. From what I've seen, from what I've gathered from him, he's a very down-to-earth guy, and, he cares. He cares about the game, and even with our interviews with him, he made sure that I knew what was going on, and he helped me a lot throughout the process and kept my spirits up even when I didn't even know what was going on or what this process was going to be like. He just kept my spirits up. So he's definitely someone I can't wait to get work with.
Go ahead, Sarge.
You said in multiple interviews leading up to the draft that you wanted to show teams more of your versatility as far as being able to catch out the backfield, to run different types of routes. That's, almost required here in the Bobby Slowick type offense. Where do you see yourself fitting in doing those type of things? And what have you worked on in your training leading up to help increase those things, improve those things, brother?
Really just repetition, just getting comfortable running routes, doing what I need to do to help the team. And I'm just ready for it. Just any way I can help the team, I'm just ready. So I just stayed ready, and I don't know what they're expecting from me, but I just know I'm going to be ready for it. And like I said, just help the team.
Thanks for your time, Jawhar. Congrats again.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. Jawhar Johnson, I'll tell you what, man. Confident dude, one of the best. Chip on shoulder, all that. Steal the draft. All right, we'll see. I'll go back to the question I asked at the beginning. Is the Texans running back room deep enough? It would be nice. If we look back at this and we're talking about him being the steal of the draft, then my goodness, that would be some of the best crow that I've ever eaten. I still have concerns about the state of the running back position. Dameon Pierce, are you confident in Dameon Pierce? How do you feel about Jawhar Johnson? Do you think maybe they bring in some more backs at camp, or am I just overvaluing the running back position? Do they undervalue? Who knows? That's the beauty of this stuff. And the reality of it is, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Be sure to subscribe, like, ride along. It's another edition of the Locker Room, another opportunity to get to know some of these new Texans.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we